In lecture 3 we're going to talk about legal highs, what they are, what they do, and also explain some of the side effects of these. As I mentioned in the last lecture, basically what some people do not realise is that legal highs, or some of them, are considered by some people as illegal highs. But I'm going to put it to you that basically these things are more readily available to get hold of than you can imagine. As we go through the actual lecture today, you will learn that each individual legal high has a totally different way of affecting the individual. Dextromorphan, or DXM for short, is found in some cough and cold medicines. Now, it's just one example of how an ordinary everyday ingredient can actually render someone to a sense of non-existence, shall we say. When we say non-existence, it means they're not there at the moment in time. They're actually there somewhere else. They're not, I'm away with the fairies sort of situation. We have inhalants, solids. These are classed as illegal. Paint thinners, classed as illegal. Gasoline, classed as illegal. Glues, classed as illegal. Gases, butane, propane, aerosols, propellants, nitrous oxide, nitrates, isobutyl, isobutyl, cyclohexane, laughing gas, poppers. Now these are all from the centre of addiction, but they're all basically classed as illegal highs. I must make this point, illegal highs. However, my argument is this: every single one of these you can find on Amazon, and you can have it delivered to next day. Yes, that's Amazon. Every single one of these, I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to repeat this all the way through this. Every single one of these you can find on Amazon, eBay. You can go to your local warehouse store and you can find them there. And basically, so when I say legal highs, I mean legal highs that you can actually buy and have them delivered to your front door. Additionally, legal highs must also include prescription drugs, non-prescription drugs, and alcohol and nicotine. Yes, alcohol and nicotine. What most people don't realise is that if you drink to an excess where you are no longer able to function, then you are self-harming. You're not doing any harm to anyone else. You are inebriated to a certain extent where you cannot get up. Nicotine, I must make this point. Nicotine is so addictive, that basically put, it should be classed as self-harm. You're not harming anyone else with it, you're smoking it yourself. But you know the risks. You know you could catch lung cancer. You know you could catch other diseases through smoking, yet you do it. That is self-harm. Let's be 100% correct. It is self-harm. Let's go back. Non-prescription drugs. These are drugs that are not prescribed to yourself. They're prescribed to someone else. So when you've actually taken somebody else's drugs, or you say, oh, I've got a headache and whatever, and they give you a pill, you are taking someone else's non-prescription drugs. You are taking someone else's non-prescription drugs. I have to make that point 100% clear. If you take somebody else's cough, cold, flu, or whatever remedy that they've been prescribed from the doctor, you are taking non-prescribed drugs. These are non-prescribed drugs, the same as if you go into a shop and you go walk up to the counter and you pick up a packet of, for instance, Coca-Cola or whatever, and then you take the whole pack. That is a non-prescription drug. Yeah? So not only can non-prescription drugs be from somebody else's medicine cabinet, they can also be from the actual shop itself. These are non-prescription drugs. We have to make this person realise that what they're doing is each day they go down to the shop, they walk into the chemist, they pick up their Coca-Cola, they take it to the counter. They're only doing it for one reason. If someone comes into a shop more than once in a week to buy Coca-Cola or ibuprofen or any other drug like that, they are taking this drug to get themselves out of the situation. It leaves them feeling numb, lost, and basically they don't want to be part of society at all. These drugs, if you continue to take them, can eventually destroy your kidneys, your liver, your heart, your stomach lining, and so on and so forth. They are very, very volatile. In small doses, when it says do not take no more than 8 tablets a day, it means don't take no more than 8 tablets a day. If someone's coming in and buying packets, 2 packets, which you can only buy now in the UK, you can only buy 2 packets of each. If they come in and buy 2 packets here, there's nothing to stop them from walking down the road to a completely different chemist and then buying another 2 packets. That is why they are legal highs, because you can readily buy them. Now, at the beginning I said that some of these are more readily available than you think. Now, let's look at butane, butane, and so on and so forth. And these are your self-harmers deliberately using these to get high, to make sure that their whole day is wasted. And some of these actually use these things in schools. Now, you cannot believe me, then fine. But I will put it to you that if you're in a cookery class and someone has this happening to them, they will go up, like for glue snip. You may not think the glue inside schools is that harmful, but in actual fact it is. No matter how much you think you're actually stopping this person from glue sniffing, they basically are. And they will glue sniff. And then they will go out afterwards and they will go down to the shop, they will buy a glue again. That is a legal high. Yes, it may be that they basically are not supposed to be classed as legal highs, but they are. You can buy them everywhere. But nitrous oxide capsules, can be bought online. That's right. Party poppers, things like that. You can breathe these in. They're all legal highs. You can buy them legally. And you can have them shipped to your front door. I mean, shipped to your front door. You don't have to have them sent anywhere else. They can come straight to you. So you have someone who can actually turn around, who actually is self-harming, and they're using these things. Basically, as we go through the other parts of the actual modules of how to spot signs of self-harm and so on and so forth, then you will see how easy it is to find out who is self-harming and who is not. I will say, if someone is taking these drugs or using any of these things, like these legal highs, these legal drugs from chemists and so on and so forth, and they're doing it to actually go out and commit crimes, they are not self-harming. They are basically internally taking away their inhibitions to deliberately go out and commit crimes. Deliberately to go out and commit other actions towards others. A self-harmer, and I keep on saying this, a self-harmer only self-harms themselves. Let's look at paint thinners, for instance. Now, paint thinners. How often have you gone down and you decide I want to paint the walls and everything else, and you come back with paint thinners? It's meant for cleaning brushes. People will sit there and they will sniff that all day long. It's not the actual contents that's actually doing them any harm, it's the bringing it in. What happens is it actually destroys all of the actual nasal canal and all the hairs behind the nasal canal, which stop all the dust going into your mouth and then down your throat and keeping you safe from diseases of all sorts. Now you wouldn't think, basically that's legal, but it is. You can buy it. Go down to Wilkinson's. Go down to Wickes. Go down to IKEA. You can buy it legally over the counter. If someone is actually buying this to actually get themselves completely out of their head, that means they're self-harming. And if they have more than one bottle of thinners, then obviously that's a telltale sign you are dealing with a self-harm. Now, because these things are labelled as such and only should be given to people over the age of 18, some people, some youngsters, believe it or not, will go to extreme lengths. They will falsify information on Amazon to have them delivered to the front door. Yes, I have seen this happen. They will actually falsify their information, falsify their age, falsify who they are and everything else, and then Joe Bloggs receives a carton full of 15 bottles of thinners. And basically there's nothing you can do about it, because all they're going to be doing is basically sniffing that all the time. They are deliberately inducing themselves into a comatose state. They do not want to go out into society and acknowledge that there is anything out there other than, basically put, this is what's happening to me. People who use these things are being bullied. They're being told they're ugly, they're fat, they're overweight, they're this, they're that, they're the other. You're too tall for who you are. And yes, I've even heard that. I've even heard young girls say to me, Martin, because of my height, I get bullied at school. And I'm like, well, and what do you say to them? And they say, it's not my fault. My mum is tall, my dad is tall. Then in that case, they're at fault. Because obviously they must have seen your mum and dad at some stage. Agree? They must have seen them. So they must know how tall your parents are. But these children are hurt. They're hurt by what people say. This is why you should never ever tell anyone anything other than, let's get on together, let's work together, and let's see what we can do together. As we come on to the descaling part of this, in the second module, you will then see how you can approach people who self-harm, how you can actually understand what they're doing, how you can actually talk to them, and how they can relate back to you. And if you have to write things down, tell them. Always tell your self-harmer, I'm going to write down what you use. Oh, you've snorted thinners. Okay. Look at them. Do not turn your eyes away from them. They want to know that you're engaging. In a recent dissertation I did, I found that 87.3% of suicide victims that I'd come across had not been listened to. Had they been listened to, would they be alive today? I don't know, but unfortunately that's 87% of a cohort. That is a lot of children turning around and saying they have not been listened to. Listen to these people. They want your help. They know you can help them. And if you can help them, good luck for you. As we said before, alcohol consumption. If you look at some alcohol and you look at the side and you go, oh, 3%, that's not too strong. But if you go out and you get Kestrel Super and things like that, 15, 16% alcohol, that alcohol is destroying your liver. But people will go out there deliberately to actually turn around and put themselves into a comatose state. And this is children as well. You may think you'll be able to actually smell this on a child, but you won't. Because of the exercise, the routines that they have, and so on and so forth, and the body growing, they express alcohol a lot quicker than adults do. And that's what people don't realise. Once they sweat or perspire, they get rid of it quicker because their metabolism is faster. As you get older, your metabolism becomes slower, and then basically you cannot express this in any way quicker than anywhere else. The case study. This I'm going to leave with. A young mum has been left paralysed from the chest down from inhaling too much hippie crack. Olivia Golding, 24, would consume up to 15 balloons every weekend, while her 3-year-old son visited his dad. She says the nitrous oxide inside has left her with no feeling in most of her body after she contracted Lichtenstein's disease, also known as subacute combined degeneration of the spinal cord. Now, she claims that she was self-harming. I'm going to ask you, at one stage in her life, did she ever think of her 3-year-old son? That's my opinion. In the comments section, I'd like you to actually turn around and comment on each one of these, or this one here, basically, and think very hard. Was Olivia Golding doing this for her own self, or was she doing it because she was self-harming? I personally believe she was not self-harming. I believe she deliberately went out each weekend to take 15 balloons of hippie crack. That's 15. That's not anything else. I mean, if you go to, when they say hippie crack, you're talking about things like when you go to McDonald's and have balloons. And this is what's inside these. Yeah, this is what's inside these balloons. It will shock you that this is happening. But the more you intake, the more your brain degenerates. If, for instance, she hadn't taken 15, and maybe 3, I'd say she was doing it because she actually wanted to not only enjoy herself but get out of the moment and everything else. Like you're going to a party anyway. But you're doing it knowing that you're leaving your 3-year-old son at home, visiting his dad. Personally, I believe 15 balloons every weekend, it's her choice. You have to think about this now. It's her choice. Did she or did she not commit self-harm to herself? Or did she deliberately do that because of the stress of bringing up a 3-year-old son? I believe the opposite. I believe she did that every weekend because she couldn't handle bringing up a 3-year-old son on her own because her dad had left, or his dad had left. Does she need sympathy? I don't know. I'm going to ask you. Does she need sympathy for what she did? I mean, me personally, I can't understand why anyone would want to go to a bar or anywhere, somebody's house, and take 15 balloons. But as I said, in the comments bar at the bottom of the page, please leave your comments on this. You may sympathise with her. The fact that she's now disabled, she can't actually do anything. She can't actually move her bottom half of her body and parts of her upper half of her body because she did this self-induced. 15 balloons. I'm going to repeat that. 15. There is an excess and there is self-harm. Me, I would expect self-harm, and I'm telling you this for a fact, to turn around and take 3 balloons just so they got out of their head. They're not there at the moment. But to take 15, end up in A&E, and then turn around and say that I am actually self-harming, I cannot believe it. Now, it may be that she has a dependency problem, which is not self-harm. She's dependent on that. To self-harm, you do the damage to yourself. She not only did she not done damage to herself, but she's now done damage to her 3-year-old son. She can hardly hold him. She can't sit there with him. She can't do anything with him no more. Now that to me is not, that's more. I don't know how you would explain that to anyone, but to me I would say that's addiction. She was addicted to that drug. That's not self-harm. The two have to be separated. There is no way you can turn around and say, someone who self-harms will have pain for that moment. Someone who does what this young lady has done obviously does it for a purpose. Some of the side effects of lethal highs, allergic reaction. So for instance, if you've got glue and you stick it on yourself, you might have an allergic reaction, you then peel that off, you're actually scarring yourself with the actual glue. Prime example is super glue. Once you get it on there, you have to peel it off, and it peels off 2 or 3 layers of the actual skin. Flushing, low blood pressure. Once your blood pressure gets so low, you then become unaware and you could actually fall into a coma. These things, a fast heartbeat. If you find any of these things that you seem to think might be happening to someone you know, I would advise you now to turn around and seek medical advice immediately. Liver and kidney damage. As I said before, taking too many of these non-prescription drugs or prescription drugs can ruin your kidneys and damage your liver. They can also make you overdose because you're taking too many of them at the same time. The next stage after that is suicide. Alcohol and paracetamol should never be taken together. Yeah, someone who self-harms may take these together because they speeds up the sense of non-being. That means non-being. That means you don't want to be here in the moment. Some of these self-harmers can't have the idea of living life. Some of them have got problems at home. Some of them have got problems with parents. Some of them have got problems with friends, family, or whatever. And they just want to get out of their moment. They self-harm. And it's episodal. It will not always happen. And this is the other thing we must remember about self-harm. It's an episodal situation. That's why I said, when that lady turned around and said 15 balloons every week, that's addiction. That's not self-harm. A self-harmer will go out and they will do one act, and then it will take them like 2 or 3 months before they do another act. Once they've done that other act, it then becomes a pattern. And that pattern will be repeated. And that is when you know you are dealing with someone who self-harms. Control is needed. I suggest there should be stricter controls. I don't even think we should be allowing out 1 packet of paracetamol, ibuprofen or anything else. Because these people are actually taking it deliberately. They are deliberately taking these things, some people. Self-harmers will take 1 pack and then not do it again for a few months. And this is it. This is what we have to make people aware of. A self-harmer will not continually do what other people do. The World Health Organization should introduce a ban on all legal substances being named illegal, like canisters, glue. Yeah? These are legal highs. They shouldn't be on an illegal list. They should be on a legal list. There's no other way around it. You cannot put these on an illegal list when people can go out and buy them tomorrow. Thank you.